Yes, I was the person who used to say that they can't live without meat, yet here I am, a vegan. Hi, today's Doctor's Day, and I thought that it's the perfect opportunity to tell you a quick story about how I became a vegan doctor. Only for those who are curious. Like many of us, I used to think I was an animal lover, but I used to visit zoos, consume animal products, and also cook them even though I hated cooking. Fast forward to when I started med school. I was non-vegetarian during first year. During second year, I started taking cases and I noticed that almost all the patients are non-vegetarians. Although I did find a vegetarian patient, but it was in the ortho ward because of a fracture. Anyways, it got me thinking that if eating meat is supposed to make someone healthy, then why are majority of the patients in the hospital non-vegetarian? It was also the time when I used to be anxious about something. My skin, infections, and cycles. I used to have severe dysmenorrhea, also known as period cramps. I used to attend every single class even when I was sick and even when I got a fracture because I wanted to maintain a good attendance record. Because I knew that I have to take a day off when I get my periods because of how painful they were. The same year, I actually thought of trying vegetarianism just to see if it helps. Obviously, my first reaction to this was, no way, I can't live without chicken lasagna. So I told myself that I'll just try it for 3 months. I did, and I noticed a significant decrease in the intensity of the period cramps. Also, I didn't ask for it, but my skin was also clearing. But I did have monthly visits from hormonal acne, which made me look like a strawberry once a month. But it's better to look like that once a month than every day. During final year, on my way back from pediatric posting, I noticed 6 puppies in front of my house. So I started taking care of them, and some grew up, some didn't. And I noticed some certain changes that were happening within me. Every time I was having paneer, I started crying because I feel like I was feeling guilty about something. And I also decided to try going plant-based, but every time someone offered me ice cream, I'd say yes. Until one day I was wondering that, cows are also mammals, and they produce milk after they become mothers. So if the bucket of ice cream is in my hands, then what did the calf drink? Now you see, I found out the answer without watching any videos, and the answer was really heartbreaking. So I became vegan immediately after knowing it because I did not want to take part in such cruelty. Back then, I also didn't know much about tofu and plant-based milk because it wasn't available at our nearby supermarkets. All I knew about were lentils, beans, nuts, soya chunks, and coconut milks. Then I passed my final year exams and became a doctor. Turns out I was the only vegan and the only vegan doctor at my college, which did make things difficult at times, but I used to make a lot of vegan snacks for my teams, such as chaat, samosas, jalebis, and everyone liked that. And in the process of feeding them, I also told them about veganism. So it turns out that many were new to the term. Meanwhile, I was also learning about the different protein sources and plant-based milks which were available in the nearby malls, including vegan ice cream. Halfway through the internship, me and my friends decided to do a quick blood test. And guess what? My protein levels were normal. What I was most surprised about was the hemoglobin level because when I was non-vegetarian, my hemoglobin was very low, like 9, 9.6, 10. But after going vegan, when I checked, it was actually 11.3, which is much better than before. One more thing happened was that even my hormonal acne disappeared. There were lots of stressful moments during my internship, but that also didn't trigger any breakouts. After completing med school, I had a lot of time to spend on social media. And I think it's true what they say about our phones listening to us, because I went on Instagram and it showed me all the videos. Everything that I needed to see about animal exploitation, the dairy industry, and I also noticed a lot of hateful comments towards vegans. Yeah, what's that all about? When I told my friends about it, they were in denial. And someone even said that it's AI, or that I was lying. So naturally, I was feeling a lot of negative emotions after hearing the responses. So that made me realize that so many people are blinded by propaganda. And that's when I started to speak up. I made this account to show that a plant-based diet is so possible, so easy, and beneficial for health. We're not living by the 20th century logic anymore. It's 2026. There are so many vegan options already available. And even if some products are expensive, they can actually be made at home at a very cheaper rate. And going plant-based actually made me fall in love with cooking. I myself realized we can veganize so many dishes and cook plant-based meals by ourselves also. So unknowingly and knowingly, I became a vegan doctor and an animal activist who grew in love with cooking. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.